Our guest says the U.S. electrical grid is a key bottleneck, much more capacity needed, and that's going to support copper prices long term. We're delighted to be joined by Kristin Milchanowski, Chief Artificial Intelligence and Data Officer at BMO Financial Group. Thanks very much. I'm just looking at your biography here. You were Chief Data Scientist at Morgan Stanley. You specialize in AI and other IT tools to root out money laundering. I don't think you're much of an achiever. You're an AI Associate Fellow of the University of Oxford, and you hold a PhD in decision sciences. So it's great to have you here. You know one or two things about computing.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an interesting era to be here. AI is driving this CapEx supercycle at data centers, and it's a really interesting conversation.
It's amazing. One thing is amazing to me, that people are now expressing computing power in terms of energy consumption. Can you explain that to me a little?
Absolutely. The physical infrastructure behind what we're building is around efficiency to scale. You've got custom silicon and you have software optimization. There's a lot of constraints now around the electrical grid or just power infrastructure altogether. And so that bottleneck is where you have the interconnection of transformers, permitting issues. It's a grid expansion need and modernization of these data centers.
And the data centers themselves, apart from the broader infrastructure, need vast amounts of copper?
They do. They need vast amounts of copper. There's a lot of other metals that go into it. But from today's conversation, we were focusing on the demand side of copper. And we're seeing it go from being a cyclical commodity to a critical enabler of both AI and electrification with multi-year visibility.
That's interesting. Yeah, it is a classic. Dr. Copper, that old cliche, when copper prices go up, we're into good economic times. But you feel its so-called economic prediction role will diminish because it's going to be constant demand?
We do see increasing demand. There is power behind that demand, meaning it's solidified demand, it's committed demand. And so where we used to see a trade between or a commonality between oil prices with copper. Now it's completely different, and the market is having to react to that demand in a new way.
I suppose people might say, well, what about Moore's Law, that computing scientists, engineers get better and better with less and less hardware at producing more and more computing power? But you say that's not necessarily going to happen with copper consumption.
There is a Moore's Law part to this equation, but the interesting thing is that data centers have a 10 to 15 year refresh cycle, and the AI hardware itself refreshes every 18 to 24 months. So your grid infrastructure upgrades run multi-decade, and so that is that's where the demand for copper is going to be pretty consistent, because you have to have it in that refresh cycle. And so that data demand is exponential. And so the metals is going to be able to be present through that long cycle that's coming ahead.
Is there a risk of overbuilding here? I mean, I know one of our investment houses here in Toronto, Veritas, says some of this AI funding is now going into obscure financing vehicles. Is there a risk of an overbuild here, though?
I do think that there is somewhat of a risk of overbuild. Right now, I do believe that the demand that has been present is committed demand. But I don't believe that we're in a situation where this is going to be exponential. So that's what I'm urging people to pay attention to, that I don't think that we're going to be in an exponential growth era for this demand, but it is a pretty constant increase in demand that is committed.
Thank you very much for joining us. I see one of your specialties is AI and biofacial recognition. And so that's an area we'd love to talk to you about someday, an incredible area. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Those deep fakes are coming fast too.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's right. And I'm thinking about spy movies. Who can be a spy anymore? They can just check your face. Anyway, Kristin Milchanowski, Chief Artificial Intelligence and Data Officer at BMO Financial Group.